3 killed cars you won't believe are real. Some cars weren't just bad. They were a disgrace. Whether it was because of dangerous design, complete mechanical failure, or simply because they were decades ahead of their time in all the wrong ways, these 12 American cars were killed by the market, the media, or their own automakers. And for good reason. Support the channel by subscribing, and liking your support gives us immense motivation to make more and more awesome videos and reviews. Thank you. We begin. Number 3. 1977 Dodge Aspen. In 1976, Chrysler introduced the Dodge Aspen and its twin, the Plymouth Volare, to replace the aging Dodge Dart and Plymouth Valiant. These compact cars were meant to usher in a new generation of stylish, affordable, fuel-efficient American vehicles during the post-oil crisis era. They were supposed to be Chrysler's saviors. Instead, they quickly became symbols of poor quality, rushed engineering, and corporate desperation. One of the most legendary and embarrassing problems was rampant rusting. Poor rust-proofing and thin sheet metal meant that fender wells, door sills, and even structural parts would corrode within months, especially in snowy or humid climates. Some customers reported rust spots before even taking delivery. The Aspen and Volare suffered from frequent front suspension collapses, especially in early models. This was due to weak control arm bushings and torsion bar mounts, which would fail under stress. Combine that with loose steering, and these cars were often difficult and even dangerous to drive. These cars were plagued with more than 24 recalls in their early years, including issues with fuel system leaks, parking brake failures, stalling in traffic, poor carburetor tuning, faulty seatbelt retractors. By 1980, the damage to Chrysler's reputation was severe. In a twist of irony, the 1976 Aspen were named Motor Trend's Car of the Year. But that award became a running joke when the cars began falling apart shortly afterward. The backlash was so intense that it caused Motor Trend to rethink how they chose award winners going forward. Number 2. 1971 to 1973. Stutz Blackhawk, the flashiest misfire of the early 70s. The Stutz Blackhawk was the automotive equivalent of a rhinestone jumpsuit. Flashy, loud, and unapologetically gaudy. Designed to revive the long-dead Stutz brand, this ultra-luxury coupe catered to celebrities, royalty, and eccentric millionaires who wanted to make a statement, even if it came at the cost of practicality, performance, or good taste. The Blackhawk had a celebrity cult following. Elvis Presley was famously obsessed with his. He bought the first one ever made and crashed it shortly after. Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, and Sammy Davis Jr. were all owners, as was Liberace naturally. But for every star who wanted to be seen in one, there were hundreds of regular buyers who balked at the price and styling. Built on a Pontiac Grand Prix chassis, the Blackhawk was not handcrafted in Italy, but it wanted you to think it was. Under the overdone bodywork was a 455 cubic inch V8 from Pontiac, but the performance never lived up to the image. It was heavy, soft, and sluggish. Hand-finished Italian bodywork by coach builder Carrozzeria Padane. A 24-karat gold-plated trim package, real walnut, and leather interior. A clock worth more than some cars, made by European watchmakers. All of this came at a price of $22,500 in 1971. More than a Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow. The styling was polarizing. The Blackhawk looked like a 1930s gangster car mashed up with a 70s personal luxury coupe. A massive upright grille, external spare tire hump, oversized chrome accents, exaggerated fenders, and a long hood. While some found it glamorous, most saw it as tacky and impractical. The huge body and dated chassis made handling floaty and imprecise, and the fuel economy was atrocious. Number 1, 1957. Mercury Turnpike Cruiser. Cruiser was one of the boldest and most over-the-top cars of the late 50s. Released as Mercury's flagship, it was meant to be a futuristic showcase, a rolling billboard of innovation and style. And boy, did it show off. The Turnpike Cruiser wasn't just about wild styling. It was stuffed with cutting-edge features, some of which wouldn't become common for decades. Retractable rear window, breezeway window, that could lower for ventilation. Twin radio antennas that could be raised electrically. Trip computer, tachometer, and even a seat-o-matic memory seat. This car was Mercury saying, "Look what we can do," and doing all of it at once. Designed in the height of the jet age, the Turnpike Cruiser looked like a spaceship on wheels. Huge reverse slant windshield with roof vents, sharp tail fins, and a sweeping chrome trim line. Wild V, notched rear deck, and wraparound rear glass. It was stunning, excessive, and uniquely American. But not everyone found it attractive. Many buyers were turned off by how radical it looked compared to more conservative Fords and Chevys. While it looked fast, the Cruiser wasn't exactly agile. Underneath all that style was a big, heavy body-on-frame car, powered by a 368 cubic-inch Lincoln Vive 8. It had plenty of grunt, but with vague steering, soft suspension, and massive proportions, it handled more like a city bus than a space rocket. Despite all the flash and features, the Turnpike Cruiser didn't sell as well as Mercury hoped. Buyers were intrigued but hesitant. It was just too weird for many. Only around 16,800 units were sold in 1957, and it was dropped after just 2 model years.